Raise your hand if this has ever happened to you. You ask a chatbot a hard, important question, something like, I want to raise a Series A funding. What are the most active investors in my space right now? And it responds with a list of options, which is quite shallow, and you also get a bunch of high-level recommendations, like you should research active investors in your category, you should build a target list, you should reach out to your network for warm introductions, and so on. Google's product team has a name for this. They call it a blueprint answer, a high-level map that tells you what to go find while leaving every bit of the actual work to you. You're still one drowning in 50 open browser tabs, trying to separate the useful signal from the noise. Gemini Deep Research is what can help you to move past the blueprint and get something very comprehensive you can act on right away. Deep Research is not just a smarter chatbot, it is an agentic system, meaning it autonomously plans, searches, reasons, and synthesizes information across hundreds of sources on your behalf. Think of it as having a PhD level research assistant in your team who does hours of complex investigation in minutes and comes back with a polished report, not a to-do list. So what does a PhD level research assistant actually do for you in practice? Let me give you the 3 most powerful use cases. First, topic understanding, going deep on complex subjects. Imagine you are an HR manager trying to understand how AI will impact the workforce over the next 3 years. You don't just want a surface-level summary. You need to understand the landscape. How does AI automation compares to AI augmentation? Which roles are most at risk and which ones are evolving? What are other companies already doing? And what does the research say versus what's just hype? Deep Research dives into academic papers, industry reports, expert commentary, and real-world case studies simultaneously. It comes back with a structured analysis that maps out the landscape, contrasting competing ideas, surfacing the relationships between concepts, and explaining the why behind all of it. Second, professional due diligence. Think about preparing for an enterprise sales meeting. Before you walk into the door, you need to understand the prospect's core business challenges, their recent strategic moves, the competitive pressure they are facing, and how your product fits into all of it. Deep Research investigates the company's products, funding history, leadership team, and competitive environment, and this is very important, merges it all with your own internal notes on the client relationship. What would have taken a junior analyst a full day to compile is now ready in minutes. So you walk into that meeting room knowing more about their business than they might expect. Third, high-stakes personal decisions. Not everything is about work. Buying a car, choosing a neighborhood, comparing insurance options. These decisions matter just as much, and the research rabbit hole is just as deep. Instead of a weekend lost going through conflicting blog posts and Reddit threads, you get a report structured around your specific situation, the pros, the cons, and the nuance that generic advice never gives you. And here is what makes all three of these use cases possible in practice. Deep research does not just hand you a list of links, it produces a comprehensive, multi-page report, structured analysis, cited sources, and even things like infographics that bring the data to life. In the next lecture, we are going to get our hands on it. I'll show you how to launch deep research, how to create the research plan before it starts, and we will walk through a real example together so you can see the full process from prompt to final report. I'll meet you there.